Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome back to another Pro Wrestling Talk session brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, WWE SummerSlam 2022 is officially in the books, all wrapped up. So, just wanted to get on here and give a recap and give my thoughts on this year's SummerSlam. Of course, SummerSlam was in Nashville, Tennessee tonight. Definitely was a very interesting SummerSlam this year. Very, very interesting. But let's get into it. So we kicked off SummerSlam with the Raw Women's Championship match as Bianca Belair defended the title against Becky Lynch. Now, of course, remember last year's SummerSlam, Becky Lynch made her return and beat Bianca Belair in 27 seconds to win the Smackdown Women's Championship. So, this was pretty much the revenge match, so to speak, even though I felt like Bianca Belair already had gotten her revenge by beating Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. But here we are once again. This was a solid match. This was actually a solid match between these two ladies and quite a way to kick off SummerSlam. I wasn't too excited originally because it's a match that we've seen a handful of times now. But these ladies both did well. They did very well. Very enjoyable match. Becky and Bianca went back and forth. Becky tried to take advantage of Bianca's hair. We saw a KOD on the outside. We saw a manhandle slam. We saw multiple disarmor attempts. Bianca Belair showcasing her power, overpowering Becky Lynch when it came to tug of war with her hair. But yeah, overall, it was a great match. And when it was all said and done, Becky Lynch was trying to go for an avalanche manhandle slam, but Bianca Belair turned it into a middle rope Spanish fly, and then she was able to capitalize on a KOD, a second KOD, in the ring, and got the 1-2-3, and Bianca Belair retains the Raw Women's Championship. He made it back. He retains the... She retains the Raw Women's Championship. And then an interesting display afterwards. Becky Lynch got up, approached Bianca Belair, offered a handshake, and Bianca accepted. It was reluctant at first, but Becky Lynch, legit showing respect to Bianca Belair. After all that has gone on between these two, handshake, sign of respect. There was a hug as well. And, it was cool. She didn't attack her afterwards or anything. So, hey, good sportsmanship from Becky Lynch. And then shortly after that, Bayley's music hits. And Bayley returns at SummerSlam looking fabulous, and she walks down to ringside. Of course, big pop from the crowd. Of course, she's dissing the crowd as, Bayley is still a heel. And then, all of a sudden, Dakota Kai's music hits. And Dakota Kai joins Bayley, comes down to the ring, meets up with Bayley, and Dakota Kai gets a big pop. I like her new look too with the silver and purple, or it was like purple and black hair. I really like that long hair of Dakota Kai, which she looked fabulous. But Dakota Kai is back. Remember, she was released a while back, but Dakota Kai returns and is at SummerSlam. Oh, but we're not done yet. One more. The music of Shirai hits, and Shirai makes her way down to ringside, and you have Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Shirai joined together. They get into the ring to confront Bianca Belair, and then all of a sudden, Becky Lynch stands by Bianca Belair's side. So it looks like a face turn for Becky Lynch. She stands by Bianca's side, ready to take on Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Shirai. But of course, the three ladies ended up backing off and exiting the ring. So, wow. Like, kudos. I got to give mad kudos to Triple H for this big surprise. I mean, I think most of us figured that Bayley was going to return at SummerSlam. There was a lot of hints about it. But bringing back Dakota Kai, and it looks like she has a fresh contract and is on the main roster now. I think that's awesome. I think that's very awesome for Triple H, for them to go back and bring back Dakota Kai. I think that's excellent. And then Io Shirai. So one of the things with Io Shirai was she was going to re-sign if that meant going to the main roster. And sure enough, debuts at SummerSlam, and it looks like she is main roster bound with a fresh contract. So it looks like Io Shirai is staying with the WWE. I know half of the people are excited, other half of the people not so much. We're hoping she would go back to Stardom, which I thought she was going to go back to Stardom. But hey, I mean, if she wants to be on the main roster, then so be it. And that time has come. I just really hope she has a great main roster run. The only bad thing was apparently Io Shirai is now going to be called Io Sky. That's her new name, Io Sky. And I refuse to call her that. So I will be continuing to call her Io Shirai. I do not like the name change. Like, my thing is, it sounds too much like Io Shirai, so why not just keep Io Shirai? But anyway, I refuse to call her Io Sky. I don't like the name. I don't like the name change. But yeah. So Io Shirai is staying with the WWE, main roster bound. Bayley has returned from her injury, finally. And Dakota Kai has been brought back to the WWE and now is going to be on the main roster. That's excellent. That's an excellent big way to kick off SummerSlam with a great match and some surprises. So, hey, I think it's awesome. I think it's really awesome. So, women's division starting to shape up. And hey, if some way, somehow they can get Sasha Banks and Naomi to return, ooh, now things are going to get really interesting then. Who knows? Maybe they can bring back Tegan Nox. Hey, a lot of these folks are, NXT Black and Gold originals. So, Triple H has a soft spot for them. So, hey, I can't wait. I can't wait. Next up, we had Logan Paul versus The Miz. Of course, The Miz came down accompanied with Tommaso Ciampa and Maurice. They were wearing green. Even though I wasn't very hyped for this match, I gotta give credit where credit's due. Logan Paul actually did pretty good. He actually did pretty good. I don't know, y'all. Say what you want about Logan Paul, but I felt like he did pretty good in this match. I thought he did good. It was cool seeing a lot of the stuff he did, doing like the blockbuster, doing the phenomenal forearm, doing a frog splash on the Miz through the announce table. I thought was pretty great. The ref eventually kicked out Tommaso Ciampa, but yeah, Logan Paul was able to defeat the Miz with a skull-crushing finale, and gets the pin 1, 2, 3, and yeah, Logan Paul victorious at SummerSlam. So, I mean, hey, you know, I felt like he did good. Surprisingly, I felt like he did good. And I'm sure he'll probably get better, but hey, I mean, he hung with The Miz and looked pretty good. Hey, I can dig it. And I don't even like the guy. Next up, we had the United States Championship match as Bobby Lashley defended the championship against Theory, which, honestly, this was an match. Really wasn't hyped about it. And sure enough, once again, Theory loses to Bobby Lashley via submission, via the Hurt Lock. And once again, it did not take him long to tap out to it. And, you know, it's really sad. Like, this is supposed to be your Money in the Bank briefcase holder. And he has been winless since winning that Money in the Bank at the pay-per-view. I believe, what, 0-8 now? I think this loss tonight equals 0-8 for Theory since winning the Money in the Bank. That's not good, y'all. Like, that's almost as bad as when Otis had the Money in the Bank briefcase. And then later ended up losing it in a separate match outside of the Money in the Bank to The Miz. You know, like, seriously, it's not going to really make much sense for Theory to cash in and be successful. I'm like, how are you going to have a guy cash in and be successful and have a legit run when he can't even win one match since winning the Money in the Bank? I'm sorry, but Theory is booked weak. And the thing is, I like Austin Theory. And, you know, I think he's good in the ring. I first saw him back in Evolve, but I just feel like his booking hasn't been good since winning the Money in the Bank. And the fact that he lost at Money in the Bank and then was inserted back in as an extra competitor in the actual men's Money in the Bank ladder match, it's ridiculous. I'm like, how are you going to get rewarded after you lost the match? Like, that makes no sense. So, I think Theory is just a weak Money in the Bank contract holder. And I think it's just going to get worse and worse, if you ask me. But Bobby Lashley retains the U.S. Championship. Next up, we had the Mysterios taking on Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest. It was an alright match. It was definitely an alright match. These two have faced each other quite a bit, whether it's tag team matches, singles matches, and all. So, I mean, you know, Rhea Ripley was there ringside as well. But it was an alright match. Nothing too crazy. But near the end of the match, lights went out. Pillars of fire lit up the stage and the steps. And out comes a returning Edge. Edge comes back with that Brood-like entrance. Comes down to the ring. Pretty much helps the Mysterios win. Takes out Finn Balor. Takes out Damian Priest. Then the Mysterios finish off Damian Priest with a double 619. And Mysterio is able to get the cover. The 1, 2, 3. And the Mysterios get the victory. And by the way, this was a no disqualification match. But yeah, the Mysterios victorious over Judgment Day. And there's Edge standing alongside the Mysterios. Quite a turn of events. Established Judgment Day, gets kicked out of Judgment Day, returns and is feuding with Judgment Day. So, there you have it. Uh, Next up, you had the singles match between Pat McAfee and Happy Corbin, and I thought it was funny that Pat McAfee had a choir sing his entrance to the ring, as well as the whole bum ass Corbin chant, which Pat McAfee had that hashtag on the back of his shirt. But yeah, this match, I mean, I thought Pat McAfee did all right. I thought he did all right. But overall, I just don't like Happy Corbin. I don't like the gimmick. But was definitely rooting on Pat McAfee. Definitely showcased more of his aerial abilities. And he did his thing. And remember, these are two former roommates slash NFL football teammates. So, this was quite a story. Quite a story. But I definitely thought this was a decent match with Pat McAfee. I probably wouldn't pick this over his match with Adam Cole, but it was all right. It was all right. When it was all said and done, Pat McAfee was able to get the sunset flip power bomb onto Happy Corbin and get the 1-2-3, and Pat McAfee with a victory at SummerSlam, getting the last laugh over Happy Corbin, and ends up celebrating with Michael Cole, his broadcast partner. So so we got to see a match with Logan Paul and a match with Pat McAfee, and I felt like they both did pretty good. Who do y'all think did better? Who do y'all think had the better match? I think they did pretty good. I can't really pick one over the other, but let me know if y'all thought one was better than the other. Well, yeah. Good stuff for Pat McAfee. Next up, we had the undisputed WWE Tag Team title match as the Usos defended against the Street Profits with special guest referee Double J Jeff Jarrett. And, ultimately, the only thing I really noticed, because these two tag teams go at it all the time. This is nothing new. Double J, I felt like some of his counts were slow and others were fast. But overall, excellent match between these two. Like I said, these two tag teams have great chemistry in the ring against each other. A lot of close calls between the Usos and the Street Profits. Double Uso splashes. We saw the Spine Buster from the Heavens combination, and that wasn't enough. It was crazy. It was back and forth. But eventually, Montez Ford got dealt with on the outside, and Angelo Dawkins suffered from the 1D. And once again, the Usos get the 1-2-3 and defeat the Street Profits to retain the WWE Undisputed Tag Team titles. I bet most of us were thinking there was going to be a split with the Street Profits. And you know something? I think it's coming. I definitely think it's coming. If anything, I think the seed was planted, and it'll probably happen on Raw. But I just can't tell if it's going to be Angelo turning on Tez, or is Tez turning on Angelo. It's hard to say. It could go either way. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. We had a segment where Riddle came to the ring, called out Seth Rollins, was ready to go. Seth Rollins came down. They brawled for a bit, and then Riddle ate a curb stomp, and that was pretty much it. That was pretty much it. So I guess despite Seth Rollins not having a match, he had a moment. He had a moment with Riddle. So, yeah. I guess that'll do. We had the SmackDown Women's Championship match as the champion Liv Morgan defended against Ronda Rousey. And honestly, I knew it. I freaking knew it. I knew that this was not going to have a clean finish. I just knew it. I knew it. And for the most part, Ronda Rousey was in control. And honestly, the way the finish was really makes Liv Morgan look weak as champion. I just got to keep it real. I got to keep it real. So Ronda Rousey had Liv Morgan in like a triangle armbar. Her shoulders were down. The referee started the count, and after he started the count, Liv began tapping out with her other hand at the top of Ronda's legs. But because the referee was counting the 3, he never looked up to see the tap out. But in the replay, Liv did tap out not too long after the ref started counting because Ronda's shoulders were pinned. So they had that controversial finish. The referee counted the 3. Liv Morgan awarded the title. And of course, afterwards, Ronda Rousey was pretty mad and just started attacking Liv Morgan after the match, and then attacking the referee as well. So, but like I said, y'all, I just had a feeling this was not gonna be a clean finish, cause I already couldn't even predict how they would have Liv Morgan win clean, because I didn't think she was gonna win clean, and she didn't. Controversial finish really just put a damper on this match. So, this was a match that I just really wasn't feeling. I really wasn't feeling. But it looks like Ronda's turned heel, and I guess she's going to continue to feud with Liv Morgan. But like I said, I just think the way that this went down, especially with this being Liv Morgan's first defense, it makes her look weak. It makes her look weak. Makes her look weak. So I hope they address that. I hope they fix that going forward. Otherwise, Liv Morgan's not going to have a long, or at least is not going to have a credible title run. And that's just me keeping it real. I mean, yeah, the merch sales have been great, and she's got a big fan base, but book her like a champion. That's my main hope. Book her like a champion. You put the belt on her for a reason. Book her like a champion. So, here's hoping that they do that. And then the main event was the Undisputed Universal Championship. The Undisputed Unified Universal Championship. As the champion, Roman Reigns defended against Brock Lesnar, and this was a last man standing match. This match got ridiculous along the way. I mean, you had Brock Lesnar come down to the ring driving a tractor. Ended up using the tractor to pick up Roman Reigns and toss him into the ring. And even went as far as to taking the tractor to lift up one corner of the ring. Like, it just got to the point where it was too much. It got to the point where it was too much. And you got Roman Reigns getting knocked down a bunch and able to get up and beat the 10 count. Near the end, you had Brock Lesnar get knocked down a bunch. Spears here, Superman punches there, like belt shots, like you name it. But Brock Lesnar kept getting back up, beating the count of 10. And even Paul Heyman ate an F5 through the announce table. That was crazy. I did not expect that spot to happen. But yeah, Paul Heyman got F5 through the announce table. But when it was all said and done, when Brock Lesnar was down, with the help of the Usos and just everything that went on, they stacked a whole bunch of props, chairs, pieces of the announce table, steel steps. They stacked everything onto Brock Lesnar so he wouldn't be able to get up and beat the count of 10. Which, what I don't understand is, why was the referee still counting when they were stacking stuff on him? Like, that made no sense to me. Like, I would have thought that usually that they would wait until all that's done and then the ref would start the count. You know what I mean? So I just thought it was really weird as he was counting, I think, all the way up to like 5 or 6. Like, they were just still stacking stuff on top of Brock Lesnar. So, and then not only that, Theory, before all this, Theory tried to come down and cash in when both Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns was down, but first off, he wasn't able to get the cash-in official because, you know, the referee never got a chance to take the briefcase and get the announcement and ring the bell. So, you know, he ended up getting taken out right before that happened. And, you know, Brock Lesnar got a piece of him. Roman Reigns got a piece of him. And just Theory had no chance. He had no chance. He was pretty much laid out before he could even have a chance to try and cash in again. And that's the thing. Like, just, it makes him look weak. This is your Money in the Bank briefcase holder, and he just looked, they were booking him to be weak. 0-8 since winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. I'm just saying. But when it was all said and done, with all the stuff stacked on Brock Lesnar, he was not able to answer the count of 10, and therefore Roman Reigns is still your WWE Undisputed Unified Universal Champion. Oh, man. So, once again, Roman Reigns, Tribal Chief, acknowledge him, for he is still champion. And the crazy thing is, he's been champion, what, over 700 days? That's the thing, he's been champion for over 700 days. As a matter of fact, let me pull it up. Let me actually pull. Okay, I wasn't able to pull it up currently, but yeah, Roman Reigns has been on like at least a 700-day undefeated streak. And honestly, number one, I hope the rivalry between him and Brock Lesnar is all said and done. I hope that's over with. And secondly, the only thing that we know is that Drew McIntyre will get a shot at Roman Reigns at Clash at the Castle. But honestly, I just got a bad feeling that Roman Reigns is probably going to be champion at least until next year's WrestleMania in Hollywood. Which, that's just... So he'll pretty much be like undefeated for like 2+ years. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm so ready for a new champion. You know, nothing against Roman Reigns, but I'm just getting sick of this title run. Like, I feel like it's ran its course. But yeah, yeah. But he set the record for the longest world championship reign in cup and company history. It's just crazy, really, really crazy. So, no title changes at SummerSlam 2022. I'm kind of shocked. Not a single title change. So, not that that's not happened before, but I figured there would have been one, but no title changes. But overall, SmackDown was all right. I would pick this year's SmackDown over last year's. I'm sorry, last year's. Ugh, the whole Bianca Belair losing in 27 seconds, the short match between Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal, the match between Alexa Bliss and Eva Marie. I'm sorry, like a handful of the matches from last year's SummerSlam I thought were trash. So I honestly thought this year's SummerSlam was all right. It was better than I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to say it was great or excellent or anything like that, but overall I thought it was pretty good. I actually thought it was pretty good. I know there are, rematches here and such, but I thought the matches were actually pretty good overall. So, I think probably my least favorite match was Ronda Rousey versus Liv Morgan. Yeah. But let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are. What did you think of WWE SummerSlam 2022? What did y'all think of the card? What did y'all think of the matches? Any that you really liked or really disliked? Let me know what y'all think. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell while you're at it. Oh man, now that my GalaxyCon experience is over, I got a lot of catching up to do. I gotta watch the 5-Star Grand Prix, night 1 and 2, get caught up on the G1 Climax, get caught up on the Tokyo Princess Cup. So, I'm gonna try my best to get as much of that done after church and dinner tomorrow. But we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, for another Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the to the Tube, I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed Sunday, and I will see y'all in the next video. Take care. Peace.